Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. We are going to talk a little bit about Indiana Fever plans for global domination. I thought it was really cool to see this. We know last year was a little shaky. You had people like Lynn Dunn, who really, again, herself, I did a video on it too. Some of the things she said about her own fan base that Caitlin Clark brought with her was pretty nasty stuff. She also supported Gino Ariema when he came out and talked about the delusional fan base of Caitlin Clark's and how stupid they are and all that. Lyndon Dunn was a big fan of that. I don't believe she even wanted to draft Caitlin Clark, and it has been completely, completely different. I'm not even going to edit that out for the Fever this year with Kelly and Amber and Stephanie White on the sideline. They are not looking to just ride the Caitlin Clark wave and get a little bit of extra while she's here. They want to grow the Indiana Fever into Manchester United, into Real Madrid. I can't even think of an American team that would be up there on this level now. I know the Cowboys, who have been losers for decades, would say it's them, but we all know that's not true. The Indiana Fever are now America's team, and they want to expand beyond that. As you can see here, Fever focused on building a 365-day brand. Caitlin Clark is running it back, and the Indiana front office is ready 100%. I want to go through some of this because some of this stuff's kind of wild, man. Um, Yes, I said wild again. I'm cutting back on awesome. All right. Uh, but as we know, Caitlin Clark, a generational talent, generational asset. When you add in her fan base as well from Iowa, turned a last place WNBA team. I don't think they were actually in last place last year, right? I think it's a 2-year deal. They got the draft pick, but I think they maybe were next to last or third to last, something like that. But anyway, that's not the point. Uh, Turning them into the Rolling Stones, and they've managed to shrink the world in just one calendar year. Absolutely wild. Indianapolis, only 25th largest media market in the US, but DMA means nothing in the 21st century age of Instagram, TikTok, X. Hey, come on, man. YouTube? You don't have YouTube on there? Come on. Wow, and they shaded Facebook as well, or I guess since they own Instagram. But anyway, I thought this was interesting. A quick stat: the Lakers had 39 nationally televised games this season, while the Fever will have 41, and they want to leverage all of that. The stated goal, according to Kelly Krauspkof, president of basketball and business operations, is creating a sustainable business model that's the first of its kind in women's sports. That's awesome. I think that is a fabulous goal for them. They're not just going to sit back, rest on their laurels, and just enjoy what Caitlin Clark is automatically bringing. They want to leverage that into something bigger and better. And of course, she doesn't deny, and why would she, that Clark's off the chart Q rating has been the entry point and revenue driver for new, curious, rubbernecking customers. A little bit. I think you have a lot of hardcore basketball fans. Yeah, you could call them curious because there are a lot of hardcore basketball fans that started following Caitlin Clark, but they were not following the WNBA. So they want to see, yeah, what is it about? Is it worth my time? I know Caitlin Clark is worth my time. Is the rest of it worth my time? Are the other players on her team worth my time? Will this be my team when Caitlin Clark retires? And that's the key. And that's what I think we've got here going for the Fever. Not just leveraging all this to be a global brand now, but to be a global brand post Caitlin Clark. And with things like this, it is not too soon to start thinking about that, whether Clark plays 10 or 15 years in terms of building a global brand out of a sports team. That is not a long amount of time. So it is really smart for them to be working on this right now. And like she said, which I thought was really smart right here, we don't want this to be. Remember those 2 great years we had? Groskopf said our goal is to create lifelong fans, generations of fans that grow up and go, I started becoming a fan of the Indiana Fever in whatever year that was, where tickets and ball caps are passed down through generations. Now, if I may, close your ears, Cowboys fans. Uh, Talk about my experience with Philly. This is, and those of you who have been around, you probably feel the same thing. You understand where I'm going with this. This is, for the most part, how sports fandom works nowadays. It is how fan bases work. Yes, of course, you want to grow it, but a lot of what you get for fan bases that makes it generational is that passing down. It is fathers passing it down to their sons, grandfathers also with their grandkids and their grandsons and granddaughters as well. I mean, that is how I got the teams that I root for. That is how I became sports fans for those teams. It's because of my father who had that, and it gets passed down. And that's where it starts. And that is what Kelly's talking about here. And that is the key to growing a long term generational fan base where you get that sort of thing. Uh, you know, I, I still have an Eagles jacket that came from my father. So it really does work that way. Kids grow up, their parents pass down their passion for a team, and they go and they become fans of that team. And check this out. Just over 50% of ticket purchase for Fever home games last season came from outside of Indiana. 33% of the fans who actually attended the games were also outside of state. Yeah, of course, that, as I said, I mean, some of the non-Indiana ticket buyers were flipping tickets, but still, 33%. Not only that, the average distance traveled to a Fever home game last season was about 150 miles. That's crazy. That is crazy. According to the Fever's database, fans travel to home games from all 50 states, not to mention 44 countries. 44. Now it says most commuted from Ohio, sorry, and Illinois, and even a small percentage arrived from California. I get that. You're going to have, obviously, when you're talking about attending games live, you're going to have the bulk of the fans from right around the arena, but still to have these numbers is is crazy. It's phenomenal. It really, really is. Check this out. Considering courtside prices for Fever, road games have been listed as high as $23,370. Now, these are teams that couldn't fill tiny arenas for the price of a pack of gum. And now they're moving to bigger arenas, to professional arenas, and you're seeing prices like this, which is absolutely wild. Absolutely. Yes, I said it again. Wild. A Fever courtside season seat as part of their exclusive Hollywood package now costs $690 a year, a 38% increase. But the lowest range season tickets are still only $50, which is really cool of the Indiana Fever. Don't know how long they can do that. All season seats have sold out. The Fever have sold merchandise in 38 countries outside the US. There's a whole list. Vietnam, man. Japan, Belgium, France, Germany, Greece, Hong Kong, Lithuania, Indonesia, Malaysia, Netherlands, New Zealand, Serbia, South Korea, United Arab. This is amazing, amazing. As we know, of course, the TV viewership 1.19. I think they're fudging it a little, but still, again, 199% higher than all WNBA teams who averaged 394 in the games without Caitlin Clark, and they have fully embraced it. As I did a whole video on that, which is really cool. You should go check that out. Every game is a home game. We can't wait to see you. That's how it works with America's team. And this is just a graphic, real quick, of right? Where they're going now, where they're playing these games, venue upgrades everywhere. Everywhere that can upgrade that isn't already a decent size arena has done so because of the Indiana Fever. That is a global brand. That is America's team. Okay? There's absolutely no doubt about that. One thing, and I'll point out that they've been doing a great job. Like I talked about this in another video, the admin doing a great job with content. One last thing I want to leave you with, which is interesting. Here we go. Now, last year, as you know, in Phoenix, the All-Star game sold out. The year before, it was played in Las Vegas, It was played in the Vegas arena, for the Aces that seats 12,000, and according to Basketball Reference, it drew just over 75% of capacity, 9,472 for the All-Star game. And of course, last year, this article is from last year. That's why it says earlier this month. The team moved the game to T-Mobile Arena for the Fever game, of course, and sold out all 20,000 plus seats. So last year, we know they moved it to Phoenix, which seats 17,000, and it sold out. In 2022, it was Chicago, which holds 10,000, and that game did not sell out. But 2024 sold out. And of course, by the way, also 2025 already sold out. It will be interesting to see because there's going to be tickets on the third party market. It's going to be interesting to see what the price of those tickets is going to be. But I want to leave it there. I just wanted to talk about the Fever and their plans because I think this is really cool of them. I think it can be great for women's sports long term. Don't just capture and enjoy the moment, but capitalize on the moment so you make long-term permanent changes. That is the way to go. That is what it seems like the Indiana Fever are going to do as a franchise, which is fantastic and awesome and kind of wild too. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. As always, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.